Welcome to Cold Coffee Chats, the podcast where we dive into the beautiful chaos of motherhood, the ups and downs of marriage, and the journey of growing our faith. I'm Brittany.
I'm Aubrey.
And we're your host. Each week, we'll gather around the table, coffee cups in hand, to share stories, insights, and a good dose of laughter. Whether you're navigating the sleepless nights of new parenthood, balancing the demands of family life, or seeking deeper connections in your marriage and spiritual journey, this is the space for you. Together, we'll explore the real, the raw, and the relatable moments that shape our lives. So go find that cup of now cold coffee that you probably laid down somewhere, get comfy, and let's chat about the beautiful mess of life. Hey guys, we're back with a great episode. Today on the podcast, we're honored to welcome a very special guest, Sandy Webster from Family Promise, Northern Shenandoah Valley. Sandy is deeply involved in serving families in our community who are experiencing homelessness, offering hope, stability, and tangible support through the incredible work of Family Promise. With a heart for service and passion for helping others, Sandy brings wisdom, compassion, and real stories of impact to our conversation. We're so excited to hear from her today and learn more about the mission behind Family Promise and the lives being changed through their work. Let's welcome Sandy. Let's be honest, moms know what works. And for generations, moms have trusted White House foods. Whether it's a scoop of applesauce for lunch boxes or a splash of organic apple cider vinegar in your wellness routine, you can feel good knowing it's made with no artificial stuff, ever. White House Foods is rooted in faith, family, and over 100 years of tradition. Because when it comes to feeding your people, quality matters. Find us nationwide and taste the difference tradition makes. We're back. We have Sandy with us today from Family Promise of Northern Shenandoah Valley. Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley is our beneficiary of this year's concert with Ann Wilson. It's coming up in July, less than 2 weeks.
Yeah, very soon.
And we are so excited. But we wanted to have Sandy on today to talk about Family Promise and what they do and who they are. So welcome, Sandy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yeah, of course. We're so excited. So Family Promise is fairly new, but to Winchester-ish. How long have you all been here?
So Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley started in this area we got incorporated in August of 2022 and started doing services in April of 2023. Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley is an affiliate of a national Family Promise organization with over 205 affiliates across the country. And the closest one to us is Shenandoah County. And then there's one in Roanoke. So there's only 3 of us in Virginia. And so we serve families with children who are at risk of or experiencing homelessness. And because of my other job, we knew what the need was and how many families were out there, mostly living in motels, paying up to $500 a month to stay in a motel and struggling because of that to be able to get into housing. A group of us went in 2017 to the Shenandoah Family Promise to see if we could do it up here. But at that time, the whole Family Promise model was to do the rotational shelter. Families would stay in churches similar to what Watts does.
Okay.
But after COVID, then they changed all of that. But at that time, churches here were already doing the Watts, and we just felt it was too much for them to do because they would do it. A church would do Family Promise 4 times a year, and we just thought it was too much. So we kind of put it on hold, and then Market Street United Methodist Church made us an offer that they wanted to help us launch Family Promise in Winchester, and they offered office space, and they offered their upstairs of their education center, which they had closed several years before, to use as shelter. Well, we were all excited. It was like, this is our chance, so we, had meetings with Family Promise National and community meetings. And long story short, when it came to getting zoning and everybody else involved, it was a $1.3 million project. So we kind of put that on pause, a long pause, and decided we could still do services. So Family Promise National gave us a grant to hire a case manager. And so we hired Robin Russell as our case manager. We hired her in April of 2023 to start serving families. And so we've been just building on that ever since.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's been a very much an eye-opening experience. I mean, we knew there was a need. We never knew the need was so great, and it's just getting, it's just getting greater.
Yeah.
And I know you also service like the surrounding counties. Did you start in Winchester and then kind of expand, or was it always the plan to?
Well, we started basically in Winchester, but it doesn't take long for the word to get out.
Right.
And even before we had started Family Promise here, we worked. My other job is FaithWorks, and we work closely with the United Way, and we would also often refer families with kids that were homeless or living in motels to Shenandoah County because they were the only ones that really served families with children. There's no family shelters. There's no shelters for families with kids. And so, but yeah, it didn't take long, but we serve Winchester, Frederick, Clark, and Warren counties. Mm-hmm. And then Shenandoah Family Promise covers Shenandoah and Page counties throughout the northern Shenandoah Valley. And yeah, primarily our folks are from Winchester, Frederick County, but we do have some in Clark and some in Warren counties.
So what is the process like from the beginning to how you all go about helping a family?
So we get referrals from the schools. Every school has a homeless liaison. So our case manager and operations manager have great connections with them. A family can self-refer. They can call and say, I'm being evicted, or I'm, living in a motel and I need help to try to move out. We get referrals from churches. And when somebody calls, then Robin and Emma is our operations manager / financial counselor. They'll set up an intake with a family and go over like all of their banking stuff and their income and their jobs and all of their needs. And so what led you to this point? Why are you now in a motel and have been for a year and a half,
Mm-hmm.
And then devise a plan as like a case plan with goals and objectives. And, when you meet these goals, then you move to the next step. And, and we've gotten different grants to do incentives like Walmart gift cards or gas cards or, different things to help people move forward. And every family is different. Every family has different motivations. We have some families that fly through the process. We don't do any financial assistance with a family until they have met with Emma and met with Robin. A lot of the financial assistance that we help with comes from other agencies, whether it's FaithWorks or United Way or, other places. But Family Promise does have some grants that can help with like housing costs, that can help with moving costs. We also do eviction prevention, not just working with families that are already homeless. We'll work with families to keep them from becoming homeless. And that's, and we've gotten a grant from National for eviction prevention as well. So everybody has to meet with Emma and Robin, and then once we help them get into housing, that's not it. I mean, that's not the end of our relationship. Right. They still keep in contact with them to make sure they're paying their bills, to make sure, they're saving money to be able to pay their rent. If something happens with their jobs, they'll get them connected with, another employer. Mm-hmm. So in our first 2 years, we helped 48 families move into permanent housing. And during that time, we prevented 26 families from being evicted.
That's amazing. In 2 years?
In 2 years. Wow. And our first from April of 2023 through April of 2025. And then just in the last 2 months, we've had 8 more move-ins and 5 more preventions. Wow. So, we try to get families out of motels. Mm-hmm. Or out of, some of our families, there were eight of our families, 24 kids, when they came to us, they were living in their car. Mm-hmm. 105 families 184 kids were living in motels. You know, and like I said, paying almost $500 a month. It's just very difficult to get ahead.
Yeah, that is really eye-opening too, that number in 2 years. And that's just the ones who have been able to find you.
Right.
And
Right. And so currently Robin and Emma are working with close to 50 families, you know, in either stabilization, the ones that we've helped move in, or families that are still in motels, or, you know, maybe in, you know, sometimes we have like domestic violence situations type, and, you know, they can't always leave immediately, but, you know, we're working with them, the plan. But it's, you know, it's constantly changing. We're constantly getting referrals. It's just, and the number, and in the summer, it gets a little harder to kind of keep track of people because, like I said, we have a great relationship with the homeless liaisons in the schools. And at the end of the school year this year, there were 539 children in Frederick, Clark, Winchester, and Warren County schools that were considered homeless.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It gives me the goosebumps.
Yeah.
So now those kids, you know, are probably in motels. You know, some of them may be doubled up with, you know, grandparents or family and friends. Some may be staying in their car or in a campground, you know, but, you know, we try to make connections with all of them.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It's probably like emotional, but super rewarding. And what are some of the things that you've seen yourself from some of the families that have come through the program?
It's amazing how just having stable housing can help a family thrive. We had one family that came to see Robin and Emma. Both the mom and dad had been through recovery in a recovery program. That's how they met. They both have their own separate set of kids. They were living in a motel. You know, one group of kids would come one weekend to see them, and the other one would come the next because there's not enough room for all of them. They found out about us, got connected with Robin and Emma. They were both working like part-time jobs. They, you know, were able to get full-time jobs. They were able to find a landlord, and this is a fun story. They were able to find a landlord that had an apartment that was big enough for all of them. And they told the landlord they were working with Family Promise and gave him Robin's number, you know, and the landlord called Robin and he goes, yeah, this guy just said he wants to rent from me, but I did a background check and he's got like a rap sheet, like longer than my arm. And I'm not sure, you know, and Robin said, he's a good guy, you know, we're there to support him. You know, I think you'll be fine. And if you have any problems, you can always call us, you know, which is a service that we offer to landlords as well, you know. And so he said, okay, I'll give him a chance. So he rented the apartment to them. And they wanted to get out of the motel quick because they could save some money that way. Yeah. And they said, well, we'll clean it up. Somebody had just moved out and they hadn't cleaned it. We'll clean it up. And he was so impressed with what they did. He gave him like the next month's rent, like free. Oh my God. You know, and then had him working on some other properties for him. And then, you know, this gentleman, and, you know, they both have a drug history and stuff. This gentleman just got his driver's license back. He got a promotion at work, you know. I mean, and just sharing his testimony, he shared his testimony at a church in town that supports Family Promise. And it was amazing the number of people who came up and said, thank you for sharing that. And your struggles, because I have family members that are going through the same thing, and that gives me hope.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's so crazy. Like, what if someone just believes in them to get a second chance? And that's amazing that you guys are able to kind of like be their
advocate.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm like at a loss for words. Somebody's so beautiful.
It's such like a butterfly effect.
Yeah, it is. Well, and we are a faith-based organization. You know, Robin and Emma prays with them, and she said, and Emma looks through all their, and Emma says, you'd be able to afford a house if you weren't door dashing so much or whatever.
She's like the Family Promise Dave Ramsey.
Yeah, exactly. She is.
It's like a little bit of tough love with the finances.
Exactly. She's she's so good. So,
that's so cool.
So Yeah.
That's awesome.
If someone in the community wanted to help get involved, what are some ways that Family Promise can use help?
So we can always use financial help. God blessed us recently with a donation from a local church. We are we just hired our first executive director. He's going to start like 2 days before the concert. Thank God. So I'm so happy. But financially, just to support our mission to, and it can be designated, money that you want it to go to rent or you want it to go to, food boxes or, different things like that. Also, volunteers. I mean, we have church groups that, one church group that does a move-in ministry that when a family, moves in, they'll take them a basket of, goodies and, cleaning supplies and that kind of stuff, do a meal for them. I would love to see us do more. It's something that we've talked about, like adopt a family, like another family adopts one of our families and, spends time with them, helps them around the holidays or whatever they need. Just different things like that, and then we're also, I think with our new director, we're going to be instituting more volunteer opportunities. I mean, we have like a donation room upstairs. Robin oftentimes needs people to help manage that. But, we'd also like to, just because of the volume, maybe start like an intake line and have volunteers kind of be the intake to screen, because we get a lot of calls that aren't families with children. So just to kind of screen those as well. So there's lots of different volunteer opportunities in addition to just a financial support.
That's great. That's great. So if someone wants to give financially, we can post a link. I think you can donate straight on your website. How if someone wants to find out how to get more involved, do they email you? How do they reach out?
They can go on to our website. It's familypromisensv.org. There's a sign up. It says get involved, and it comes like right to me that that they've inquired, and we'll get back with them. Or they can call the number that's on there. That is the admin line, and that's mine until our new director starts, and then it will be his. But yeah, so yeah,
I'll post all those links in the episode description for listeners who want to go directly there. Is there anything else you want listeners to know about Family Promise?
Again, just thanks for this opportunity. I mean, it's the more we can get the word out, the more we can support families. I mean, and get the word out to families as well as organizations and churches. I mean, Winchester Church of God has been amazing. Braddock Street United Methodist has been amazing, and really supporting us. For other Family of Promise affiliates, churches have been the foundation of getting them going and keeping them going, because they had that rotation model. We didn't start with that, so we're building on that. Well, we're building that foundation with churches and as well as individuals and families. But yeah, so all email, whatever, if anybody has questions.
And if you are planning on coming to the concert, you can stop by their table. They will have all kinds of information there and people to talk to more about Family Promise. And we're so excited for the concert.
We really appreciate this. This is just amazing.
Yeah. So for those who are new here, we are having an Ann Wilson concert in a couple of weeks, and you do need a ticket to get in. So if you don't have a ticket, you can get on the wait list. It's pretty long right now, but we're hoping some tickets open up. And at the concert, while the tickets are free, at the concert, we are going to be doing a free will offering, and the entire offering will go to Family Promise of Northern Shenandoah Valley.
And we have a family that's going to share their stories. And just even thinking about it gives me the goosebumps. So
I'm so
just to be aware.
Yeah. Before the concert, we're going to have a little presentation before Ann comes out, and you guys will get to know Family Promise even more. So I'm so excited. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Did you have any questions?
No. So it's just the three of you guys?
It's
now, like as far as admin goes.
Yeah, and then we have a board of directors.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and anybody, if somebody wants to be on a board, come. We need you.
And that's amazing. And you've served so many people already.
Yeah. It's God has been really good with us and to us and for us. And when we get a little down, and then we have these amazing impact stories of, how what we're doing really helps. And, when I get overwhelmed, it's like, okay, thank you, God. We're overwhelmed
Yeah.
for a reason. So, you'll get us through this.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we're so excited to see Family Promise grow and just be able to help more and more families in the area.
thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening to learn all about Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley. We are so excited to get to know them more and watch them grow. And if you were a little confused about the concert, if you're local, we are having White House Foods is sponsoring a community concert. The tickets are totally free, but you do have to go online and get a ticket. They are sold out at the moment, but you can join the wait list. So if you haven't already, join the wait list because more tickets will be opening up as we get all of our volunteers locked down and we confirm some seating things going on within the church. Guys, we are so excited for this opportunity to partner with Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley to support what they are doing here in our community. And they welcome everyone in the community to be part of the solution to empower families that are experiencing homelessness and ultimately regain security and opportunities that come with having a home. You can do so by, one, attending the concert and joining in on the free will offering. The entire offering will go to Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley, so they will help families in this community. If you are at the concert, you can do that there. We also will put a link to donate directly to Family Promise Northern Shenandoah Valley. We'll also put all of their contact information so you can learn more about them. And just thank you so much for listening and being part of this episode. We'll see you next time.